It is about 10 o'clock in the morning here on Saturday, May 17th, 2025. And we're in beautiful Northeast Texas, Lazy Cow Farms. Just a muggy, wet morning. It's about 77, 78, somewhere around there. Super muggy. Anyway, I had some revelations. I picked up some rams from one of my neighbors who's raising Katahdins, and that's the direction I wanted to go with my flock, was get some Katahdin genes in there. I'm just not super happy with the St. Croix results about how small they are and how slow they grow. So I was hoping Katahdins might be a little faster. So I went and we picked up the ram lambs, and you're going to see them here in a second. But before I do that, I saw this. And I saw other patches like this in the pen, and I'll show them out to you when I get there. But if you don't know what this is bermudagrass. That is almost 2 feet tall, right? And it's already going to seed. So one of my concerns, one of my fears is that the bermudagrass wouldn't come up fast enough for the spring to summer conversion. Last year we had a really good conversion when the spring grass kind of started petering out. I could see underneath the Bermuda grass starting. But as you can see here, the Bermuda grass is already very healthy, and we're only halfway through May. So let's go say hello to the new rams from my neighbor, and I feel like I'm cheating them, honestly. We're gonna do a ram swap. So maybe I'll send them 3 young rams instead of just 2. But this morning he knocked off one of his horns, so that's why he's bleeding. He was pinned up, and then I guess he decided to try to get out or something. But you can see how stout they look. They are big guys, right? The bigger one was born mid-December, and the younger one was born February, I think. So he's just old enough to be weaned. Or, I mean, you can wean him at 1 month, but take him away from his mom at 3 months, I think is more appropriate. So, these guys, I'm going to put them out with the sheep in a week. I'm going to let them hang out here in the pen and get comfortable to my land and my forage. Bring them water every day, check on them every day. And then in a week, next Saturday, I'm going to bring the other sheep down into this pen, and they're all going to say hello to each other. And then when I put the sheep back, they're going to come with them. So I don't think they'll be able to breed this year. I think the breeding's probably done. My plan was to take the rams off in June. Oh gosh, that means I should take the rams off in a week. Yeah, I'll probably take them off in a week. Separate all the rams, leave them behind. But so they will be on the sheep in July. Isn't that right? Let me think through this really quick. When do they go on the sheep? 5 months before December. That's July. No, we're going to breed in April. So they're going to go on, I think, in November. Yeah, so I'm going to put them on in November. So we'll get April lambs next year. And so that's when they're first going to see the ewes. They're going to see the ewes in a week, but that's when they're going to first be on the ewes and get to do their business. The life cycle of sheep, about 6 years is when they start to get old. So my oldest ram, he's 3 or 4 years old, so he's getting there. He's getting to his middle age, but the problem is I don't have enough rams for the number of sheep that I have. So I need to get some more rams going. And I'm happy to get the Katahdin genes out into my herd here. So let me just kind of walk through here. Remember, we were here a week ago and working on sheep. And you see a lot of forage, whatever you want to call it, weeds, not grass, right? And that's to be expected. This is not ground that I graze methodically. It's the pen that I use from time to time, irregularly. And sometimes I bring so many animals in here and leave them here long enough that they completely eat everything to the ground. But in between all these weeds, Bermuda grass, and not just like young Bermuda grass, but Bermuda grass is growing quite well. This I think is false barley. Looks like wheat a little bit. And there's ryegrass here, and all kinds of different things here. I wanted to make a quick comment. I watched a recent video from Judy where he's talking with Ian McGinnis, and I just wanted to emphasize something I observed. There was a video by a man recently, and I'm not going to link to it. I don't want to have anybody have a negative opinion about him, because I'm going to express a contrary opinion to his. I don't think any less of him, and I would like him to keep talking and not get any bad rap or any negative sentiment for what he's doing and what he's telling people about what he's doing. So that's my feeling. That's why I'm not going to link to it. And I don't even have that strong of a criticism of him. I just don't want people to get the wrong message here. So he posted a video fairly recently where he did a little experiment. He used to do like Judy style grazing, but the weeds kept coming back, and now he's trying the total grazing technique where he puts them in a smaller area and has them eat everything to the ground before moving on. And he stated that he did an experiment where he let them selectively graze for a little bit to see what would happen. And he said what happened was the animals went through and they ate all the grass to the ground, but they left all the weeds, right? And so his comment was, you selective grazing guys, take half, leave half type people, you're screwing everything up, because you're basically giving the weeds all the advantages in the world. And, you know, the grass doesn't stand a chance because the weeds aren't going to die, you know. So he's going to go through and he's going to mow that pasture, that part of the pasture down to knock the weeds down. So my observation, and again, I don't mean any disrespect to this gentleman. My observation is that the grass is where your focus should be. You're trying to grow grass, right? And so you just ignore the weeds. If the animals are eating the grass to the ground, that kills the grass. If you take one bite off the grass and then move on, that's the ideal thing for the grass. That basically tells the grass keep growing and grow stronger. And some other people point out the exudate. That's the roots underground that die and shed. Those build up the soil layer. It's more about the dead roots than about what you're putting on the surface. So all the trampling in the world doesn't mean anything if you don't have the exudate, right? I guess that's what it's called, the dead roots, basically. And so what you have to do is let the grass plant grow tall, and then knock it back so it taps into the roots and the reserves, and then sheds the dead roots it doesn't need anymore, and then regrows. And that's how you build soil and everything like that, right? So the point with those guys too is they're focused on the grass. They're looking at the grass and trying to treat the grass right, you know, trying to get the grass to do something specific. So and that's what I'm doing. That's my philosophy, is I'm trying to knock the grass back with one, and in rare instances 2 bites, and then move on, right? And so that's why Ian McGinnis, when he spoke, that's my philosophy. That's what I'm trying to do. I think that's pretty much Judy's philosophy too. You can't really push the animals to kill all the weeds. What ends up happening is they kill the grass. And then if they kill the weeds too, then everything's dead. And it takes a long time for that soil to recover. And when it does recover, it doesn't recover by bringing grass back. It recovers by bringing those pioneer weeds back. So nature has a cycle. It brings in a certain kind of weed, and then it brings in grasses, and then it brings in trees. And so by killing the weeds, you're kind of shooting yourself in the foot, because those weeds are there to help restore the soil to balance so that the grass can grow. And that's kind of my philosophy. That's what I'm thinking when I do my stuff. So with that in mind, I'm super pleased to see the Bermuda grass already growing strong. And so it looks like I won't have to take a break on my pasture between spring and summer. Everything's going to hook up just right, that once the spring grass is gone, the summer grass is there to feed the animals. And I'm going to focus on, taking a bite and moving on, leaving plenty behind. Not taking 2 bites from the grass, because that kills the grass. Not allowing the animals to stay in one spot for more than a few days, because that kills the grass. Because when the young grass starts to regrow in a few days and the animals nip at it, that kills it. But doing the thing that the grass wants to be done, which is, take a little bit and then move on, And strong grass can kill the weeds. If you read any book on lawn care, they're going to tell you that if you get strong roots and strong grass, that the weeds can't survive that. A dandelion seed or whatever lands in your lawn there, and if the grass is strong and healthy, the weed can't survive because the grass is way too aggressive versus the weeds. The grass is a better weed than weeds are, so we should focus on growing grass, and the weeds will take care of themselves, and then when they're no longer needed, they'll go away. And that's my philosophy. That's what I'm thinking. So I'm not speaking ill of this person. I keep track of what he's doing and his results. And, I especially look for people that are doing something different. Make sure I'm not missing something, And I'm listening to different ideas about how to approach it. And I'm trying to judge whether that's a good direction or not for me. And if I find that my technique isn't working, or if I feel something else might work better, then I'll give it a try and see what happens. So that's kind of my philosophy. You guys have a great day. Take care and bye-bye.